Good evening, parents. Welcome to Parent Orientation Night. This is my Pre-Calculus 12 course, and this course is taught by myself, Mr. Jason Lamb. Pleased to meet you this morning, or sorry, this evening, for Parent Orientation. Wish you all the best, that a great return from back to school for the 2020-21 year. So just quickly, briefly about what is expected. My name again is Jason Lamb, and I'll be your son's Pre-Calculus 12 teacher for this upcoming school year. I'm also the grade 7 basketball head coach here at the school, and this is my 4th year at Vancouver College. However, I'm no stranger to these parts, as I'm actually one of the many faithful alumni that are returning to BC to teach. Prior to returning to BC, I lived and taught on Vancouver Island, where I taught at a private boarding school called Shawnigan Lake School, and I did so for 15 years, where I served as a faculty member of the Department of Mathematics, and as well served various roles, such as as the assistant house director and the junior boys basketball coach during my tenure at Shawnigan. And before Shawnigan, I also taught math for several summers at the Wellington Detention Center for Youth. And I'm pleased to be back, and my family and I are currently parishioners at St. Joseph the Workers in Richmond. And my wife and I, we have 2 daughters who currently attend St. Joseph the Worker. And this year, my son is currently starting his first year at VC. And so we're pleased to be back, part of the Catholic community that is in Vancouver. Course expectations. Your son is taking this course. Pre-Calculus 12 is an elective. We really stressed that at the beginning of the year with your son. But my main goals of the course itself is to make sure that your son is confident and ready to tackle on the challenges and the rigor that you should expect going into university. Okay. Apart from this very rich content course, my goal for your son is to hopefully instill a level of self-discipline, organization, and the ability for him to become an advocate for himself and his learning. This year will serve as a prep year for your son to adopt and practice skills and the discipline required to pursue post-secondary studies. We will work together to develop those habits and mindset needed, but while doing so in a safe and supportive environment. And this is their chance this is an ideal year for your son to sort of bridge that gap between leaving high school and pursuing his studies in post-secondary. And so we want to make sure we develop the academic maturity so that he's prepared to do so when he heads off next year to his choice of school or choice of post-secondary plans. The course syllabus, the syllabus itself, the Pre-Calculus 12, as I mentioned earlier, it serves as a precursor for Calculus 12 and AP Calculus. Many of our students here are already taking Calculus concurrently as they take this course, and those 2 courses can be done concurrently together as one supports the other. The units and topics covered in this course are the tools needed for your son to pursue Calculus or any other higher level mathematics courses that he plans to pursue. And these are some of the topics we will be covering. We are starting first with transformations, and we'll bridge ourselves into trigonometry next. And these are all the topics we will go in depth into. Your son has been provided a syllabus, a hard copy, and the syllabus is also available on our Google Classroom, which I'll talk further about. But this information has been shared with your son. I encourage him, if you're interested in knowing what he's up to continually ask him. But he also has the list of order of things that we will cover in the syllabus and the rough timeline that we'll cover it in doing so. Organization. So students are expected to utilize the binder system for organization. Your son has learned from me that I am a very staunch advocate and proponent of the binder system for organization. And so I will endeavor to instill your son the self-discipline needed for him to maintain an organized system for his study material and, more importantly, his time management. Again, like as I regarded, this is an important year for your son to develop some of the habits and organization needed in routines for him to be successful. And this is a safe year for him to do so, to practice some of those skills that we hope to impart for him. And so your son, with that note, is expected to maintain an organized binder, maintain an organized schedule, time, and routine for his prep studies. This will obviously be pretty pivotal in his in developing those habits now so that he can gain success later. Maintain and organize the color-coded notes. So your son will not have to necessarily write notes because those notes will be provided for him, typed out, color-coded. And so your son is expected to make sure he keeps those organized and follow the instruction in class. Secondly, or lastly, organize his schedule and maintain the balance between his studies and extracurricular activities. We wish to build those positive habits that will ensure personal success and that he'll meet his potential for this upcoming year. And so all these things lend itself well for him to do so. As for tutorials, I do offer tutorials. I'm a staunch proponent of tutorials. And those in that schedule, tutorials will be available daily. A more organized and a more organized schedule will be placed on the door. It does change from term to term depending on my commitments, but students know that tutorials are available. And should he need one, if he's not able to make a scheduled tutorial time in the schedule, he can always arrange a tutorial by appointment when they're needed for him. But tutorials are very important for the success of this course. Nextly is the technology. What does he require? Any technology if necessary? Just a standard scientific calculator is all that is necessary for him to need minimally as a required technological device. Your son should have a Chromebook that's been school issued, so he should have that with him as he has access to a digital textbook when needed in class. One of the things that are approved I allow are graphing calculators. And should your son decide or wish to have a graphing calculator, he may have one for class, but it's not required. So if your son is interested in acquiring a graphing calculator, these are the versions of the graphing calculator I do endorse and allow. They're the Texas Instrument family of calculators, a TI-83 Plus, a TI-84 Plus, any of the calculators in the TI-84 Plus series. As well, if he decides, he can also look for a Casio brand family of graphing calculators, and these are the models that I support. However, what I encourage the students to do is not to necessarily buy these things brand new. They are quite costly brand new, but they hold their value very well in the pre-owned market. So if you're able to find a used one through a family friend or in marketplaces or used locations such as Craigslist, even Value Village. I've seen some units at Value Village. They're quite affordable. And so I encourage students to make sure they go look for one that's pre-owned. As again, buying these things brand new are quite costly. Those interested in pursuing the SAT exams, just as an added note, these are also approved devices that can be used for the SAT exam. So it may be worthwhile. And I shared with the students that any students who are thinking or considering pursuing the sciences or the sciences in university, having a graphing calculator now will certainly serve itself well when he reaches post-secondary studies. As for communication, I really wish to express and stress that my primary communication is with your son. Please encourage and support your son by allowing him to develop his personal relationships with his teachers, advisors, and coaches. We really wish to foster his development and prepare him for studies after VC. So please support your son by providing him this opportunity to advocate for himself and to take that personal responsibility for his studies. This is a safe year for him to develop those skills. And allowing your son to take ownership of his learning, he'll be grateful for his personal success, understand where he can find help and support when needed, and build the resiliency and resolve needed to endure the challenges he'll face in his academics in his final year and beyond VC. So we really want to make sure that he starts building those relationships with adults, because that's who you'll be seeing and who you'll be around when he hits post-secondary. So if we can give him a safe environment to doing so, please, I really stress to the students early on that their communication has to be open with me. In addition, class information material will be available and organized in our Google Classroom. I encourage your son to make sure he shares that information with you in Google Classroom. And if you ever are interested in what's in our Google Classroom, please feel free to look over your son's shoulder and see what we're doing in class and how that's organized as well. In summary, thank you for taking the time to get to know me a little. I know this was brief and short, but hopefully I look forward to helping your son this year. I look forward to working with your son, fostering that development, fostering that relationship with him as a whole person in preparation for his post-secondary studies, always rooted in our Catholic faith. However, please feel free to get in touch with me if you have any concerns. My email is right here at jlam@mail.bc.bc.ca. Please feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions or concerns regarding his studies. I can be reached at the school's phone. My extension at the school is 305. If I don't reach you, I'll get a voicemail or an email message from our phone messaging system. And I'll hopefully be able to get back in touch with you. But the best way to get in touch with me is through email, should you have any questions or concerns. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this orientation, and I look forward to meeting all of yours. I look forward to meeting you in the near future. All the best. Thank you.